Hey everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Dr. Angel Storm. I'm the founder of Ashes to Beauty Ministries. About 80% of the people who hire me as their life coach are facing a situation with a narcissist in court, whether that's child custody or divorce or both. People who come to me for those reasons, I want them to know two things right away, straight away. I want them to know two things. First of all, that this is a spiritual battle and it is either won or lost in the spirit. And number two is that you have not because you've asked not. And these are the most important things to know about your situation when you're facing a narcissist in court, especially. But also just if you're dealing with a narcissist in general, let's say it's a boss or a coworker or a friend or whatever. So I want to get into the second one of these points, right? Those two things are the most important things. I try to reiterate them as much as possible when I'm talking with my clients, especially one-on-one. You have not because you've asked not. So a lot of times when you're facing a narcissist, and especially when there's added pressure like being in a courtroom situation, you feel as though your voice has been minimized for so long, and you just give up a lot of your will, a lot of your authority to whoever else is involved. So whether that's your attorney, the legal process, if there's a guardian ad litem or a parenting coordinator involved, I see clients giving up their authority to these people and just saying like, oh, well, they know best and they'll just decide. And this is completely the wrong mindset to have. And in fact, this is helping the narcissist continue to abuse you through the legal system. This happens all the time, very common, and you can find lots of resources that talk about this exact specific situation, how the legal system actually will aid abusers in continuing the abuse through the legal process, specifically when it comes to high conflict situations where there's going to be over litigating of issues that should have been ruled on, could have been easily solved in mediation. It's very common for the narcissist to continue to litigate matters that have no real place in court. And unfortunately, a lot of judges are not educated on narcissism, on how this can play out in court situations. And so that abuse is aided by judges who continue to hear and continue to allow the motions that the narcissist and their attorney will file to go through. So, but I'm not going to talk about that, although that could be a whole video topic by its own self. I wanted to talk about really about, you have not because you've asked not. So a lot of my clients will say to me like, oh, I feel like, I try to tell them, first of all, is to know your narcissist, understand what the narcissist wants, what they love the most. And this usually has to do with money or property or both. So if you're arguing, you're getting divorced and maybe there's alimony involved, maybe there's child support involved, maybe there's several properties or toys that you need to split. So maybe you have four-wheelers or jet skis or boats or whatever. You have vacation homes. When you have things that it's clear the narcissist is attached to, you need to recognize that that is a strength that you have. The narcissist is going to come in and say that they deserve everything and all of the things, right? That everything is theirs. I've talked about this before, especially when I have a video that talks about narcissists and money, which is that they view every resource, but specifically money and power, social status, as theirs. So if their dad had a prestigious position, it's also theirs. They believe that kind of, the way that people look at the narcissist father should be the way that they look at the narcissist. If you have earned your money, they also view it as theirs. So you need to recognize the narcissist mindset. Stop trying to think about things from your point of view all of the time. You need to think about how the narcissist thinks about things, because this is how you can take high conflict cases, especially cases that have been going on for years, and settle them outside of court. So if the narcissist is about control, and so that is really what is going to be at the center of this whole debate. So the reason that they're continuing to bring you back into court and do all of these things is because they want you to know that they're in control. They also get their ego fed because the court system, if it's going along with their plan, is aiding that, right? It's feeding their ego. They're getting an additional supply from an outside source that they didn't necessarily plan on getting, and they like that. So that's another reason why you can expect court cases to last forever with a narcissist. So you have not because you've asked not. If you know what the narcissist actually wants and actually cares about, you need to put that in an offer letter to the narcissist. If you know that it is worth more to the narcissist for you to forego alimony, for example, then you need to put that in an offer letter in exchange for 100% time sharing and complete decision-making authority over the children, if that's something that you truly care about. There's all kinds of ways to actually use the narcissist's mentality and ways of thinking to your advantage, but you need to be aware that you have that power and that authority. When you've been with a narcissist for a long period of time, you've often heard that your voice doesn't matter, that you can't do that you have to go along with whatever they say, or that if you weren't told that outrightly, you've experienced it because the narcissist just shut down all of your plans, and things like that. So I want you to know that there is power in your voice and your authority, but you need to be willing to do it. And if you find that you're having pushback or you're not getting somewhere because your attorney isn't willing to write up an offer letter, or the system just isn't hearing your motions that you're filing, you need to move outside of that. You need to say that it's not okay to have no as an answer. You need to understand when you're facing situations like that where it's not okay for no to be an answer. So again, this has to do with knowing yourself, right? Know thyself. I say this all the time. You need to know who you are. You need to know your identity. You need to know your purpose in life. And also you want to have the ability to advocate for those things. Your voice has been silenced long enough. You need to know how to advocate for yourself. And a lot of people who have been victims of narcissistic abuse, who have codependent tendencies, find themselves in this situation because life is about a series of tests that are meant to pull the greatness out of you so that you can do whatever it is that you're here to do. Okay, there's certain skill sets, there's certain mindsets, there's certain abilities that you need to develop in order to maintain, not just get into the position, the office that you're supposed to have, but maintain it so that you don't fall down the mountain and have to climb your way back up again. Okay, this is that test for you. If you are one of those people who I've just described in this video, who are facing a situation with a narcissist, specifically in court, you need to look at what you don't have because you haven't asked for it. And you need to ask yourself why you haven't asked for it. Did somebody tell you that that's asking too much, that your demands or your asks are unreasonable? You need to look at why they think that. A lot of people also hire attorneys who are like them. And so if you hire an attorney who is a fair player, who believes in solving all of the cases in mediation, that's great. How is that going to help you with a narcissist? Guess who the narcissist hired? Someone like them. Their attorney is likely a narcissist. And you need to have an attorney who is able to go into the narcissist court and play there and win there as well. You need to look at things from not your perspective. Again, you need to look at this situation from the narcissist perspective just as much as you think about it from your perspective. Because your perspective, especially if you're just coming out of that relationship, is not right. It isn't correct. You don't view yourself correctly. You don't view your skill set correctly. You don't view your resources correctly. You're not viewing your worth correctly. And so therefore, you need somebody who is not thinking like you. You need somebody who is willing to put the narcissist in their place, essentially, who isn't afraid to go to litigation if that's what it requires, but somebody who also won't give up on proving what the narcissist is doing and what the attorney is enabling them to do through systematic abuse in the legal system. That all requires you to speak up. You need to have a voice. You need to not try to drown out that voice that says, this isn't right, somebody should do something. That somebody is you. That somebody is you. This is your life. This is your situation. You are the one who needs to come up and tell your attorney, who by the way works for you, what needs to happen. When something isn't going right, when something doesn't settle right with you, you need to really take time to reflect on that. That's the first step in fixing the situation that you're in overcoming this situation. Just as an example, I have a client who has been involved in a court case for years, and when we started working together, I told her, first of all, that this is not a legal battle. This is a spiritual issue, and you will win it or lose it there. That's number one. You have to start there. And number two, why are you continuing to go to litigation when you have all of these things that the narcissist wants? Stop litigating the case. Send over an offer letter with exactly what you want. Be willing to give up alimony. Be willing to give up your vacation home if that means that you have control over your children's medical and educational decisions, especially if you have majority time sharing or even sole physical custody of the kids. You need to really look at what your resources are. You need to understand what the narcissist is about here. In my specific situation, the narcissist could not stand having what he was doing exposed. So the moment that I started going to the press and telling people and exposing how the system was being used in my case, the narcissist just went crazy. So I want you to know that there is a way out of the situation, but you're never gonna find it if you think that you're just gonna go along with the system. You can't just go along with the system, which is designed to serve normal divorces. Nobody wants to get divorced, but if you are divorcing a narcissist, that normal system is just going to be used as a weapon against you. It's going to be used as a tool to further the narcissist's agenda, and you need to know that. You need to go into the situation saying the cards are not in my favor in this situation that I'm walking into. I need to not play that game. I need to figure out how I can get out of that situation and get what I want instead. You know, I need to not allow what I've been told for so long to become my identity, especially as I enter into this new arena. So you guys, I really hope that this has spoken to you. If something is not right, if something is not going the way that you expect it to go, you need to do something about it. You need to recognize that there is power and authority in your voice, but you'll never know unless you use it. Ultimately, you have not because you've asked not. What is the worst that is going to happen if you ask? They say no. Okay, so then you're back in the same situation that you were going to be in before you've asked. But now you've started to exercise your voice. So you need to really take a look at your situation if you're facing a narcissist in court, if you are about to face a narcissist in court, and understand the things that you don't care about. See, you're not even looking at these things. You're not even thinking about how much money I can get, or how are people going to view me for going through this process. You're not even thinking about those things, but the narcissist is. So again, don't look at things just from your perspective. Make sure that you have a very, as much as you can, an inclusive, all-inclusive 360-degree view of your situation. There are things in your hands that can be used as resources to help you overcome the situation that you're facing if you're willing to see them as resources. Just because they're not valuable to you doesn't mean that they're not valuable to the narcissist. So you guys, I hope this video has helped you. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel below and turn on the little bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video to this channel.